Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you all are doing extremely well. So today in this video we are going to do the analysis of the pseudocode questions that were asked on today itself on 18th of December in Capgemini exam. So this video is going to be very helpful for you if you are having the exam in upcoming days. We'll be discussing about the difficulty level and the topics on which they are majorly focusing on. So if you are having the exam in upcoming days, then make sure to watch the complete video. It is a must watch, I should say. And those who are already done with their exam, they can just go through the questions to just check out, like to check whether they have done it correct or not. So let's have a look on the video. Just one thing to mention, that if you are new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed our channel till now, then guys, please make sure to subscribe. It will really motivate me to make more such content for you, and also the channel will be helpful for you. One more thing, don't forget to join our Telegram family. The link for the Telegram channel is given in the description itself. So I hope that you have done both these things. So let's proceed with our first question. So what I notice is, like, usually also they do focus more mainly on the bitwise operator. So make sure that you are clear with all the concepts related with bitwise operator, like as left shift operator, right shift operator, right, bitwise and bitwise or, right, and XOR as well. So they do ask many questions on XOR. In the video itself, we'll be having a look on these kind of operator. In this question itself, you can see we have used the XOR operator, right? So here you can see we are having a function call which is accepting three arguments, 1, 8, 9, three integer arguments, three values we are passing to it. So this is our function call. So you have to determine that what will be the output, right? So here you can see the value of A is what, 1, and value of B is 8, and value of C is 9. Now we are having a for loop here for the value of C 2, 3. 2 here means that C, for each C 2, 3. Okay, C equal to 2, 2, 3, that should be, I forgot to mention. So here 2 means that you have to take the loop up to 3. So C equal to 2 less than equal to 3. That what it actually means. It means you have to include this value as well. You have to include this value as well, right? So that what the thing is. And here also C equal to 5. That's what the thing is. Okay, so we are having a for loop for the value of C up to 3. So here you can see we are doing the updation in the value of A inside this for loop. Now one thing to notice, this is the strategy that you have to follow because you are in a competition with other candidates. Here you can see we are updating the value of A as 10 plus B, and on the next line also we are doing the same thing. But are you using this previous value? Are you using the updation that you have done here? Didn't get me what I'm trying to say here? Are you using this plus A, the previous value which has been updated from here? No, your whole answer depend on this value B and C. This is nowhere rated on the previous value of A. So that's what the trick is. You have to find out these kind of redundant statement, I should say. This is redundant because it's not even making a difference in your value of A, because on the next line itself you are updating the value of B and C, and they are not depending on the value of previous value of A that you have updated by doing this operation. Okay, so now here also you can see for this particular operation where we are doing B plus B XOR with C, the last operation will be depending on two values, B and C. So instead of continuing in this loop and again calculating B, because B value is going to be constant here, we are nowhere updating the value of B in this loop, right? Only the value of C is changing. So this loop will run till the time C value is less than or equal to 2, less than equal to 3. So initially the value is 2. Later on value will be incremented, then value of C is going to be 3. C less than equal to 3, the condition will be false. Sorry, the condition will be true. Again the value will be updated for it, and when C value will be 4, the condition for this loop is going to be false. So instead of calculating this B plus B XOR with 2, then B plus B XOR with 3, right? Because C value is changing from 2 and then 3, and later on the for loop condition is going to be false. Why not just once calculate B plus B XOR with 3? Here I'm telling you the techniques even to save your time, because the questions are fairly easy, but they are putting just these random statements so that you are investing your time. And it's not just to find out the accurate answer for a particular question. You have to manage your time as well, because you have multiple questions, right? And not every question deserve to give a lots of amount of time. That's what I mean. So what I will do here is simply I will calculate A equal to B plus B XOR with 3, right? So b value is what? 8. 8 plus 8 16. 16 XOR with 3. Before proceeding further, let me tell you about the XOR operator. It is a bitwise operator, as I already mentioned. And when you are having a dissimilar operands or bitwise it means it is working on bits 0 and 1. So 0 XOR with 0 will be giving you 0. 1 XOR with 1 will be giving you 0. Right? So it means when the operands are similar. When the operands are dissimilar, like a 0 XOR with 1 or 1 XOR with 0, you will be getting output as 1. Hope that is clear. So 16. What is the binary representation of 16? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And for 3, the binary representation is 1, 1. Let's do the XOR operation. So from here you'll be getting 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. Now what is the decimal value of this one? So 16 plus this is 1, this is 2 plus 3, 19. Okay, so overall from here, this line wasn't there, sorry. So overall here you will be getting 19. Fine. So this is what. So I have a little bit updated the question. You can see extra statements are there because exact question we cannot take. Okay, so 19 will be the answer in that case. Now we are again taking a loop for c equal to 2 up to 5, right? And continuously we are updating the value of c. So initially let me remove these extra statements. Initially what we are doing is a equal to c plus a. C value is what? 2 as of now. So 2 plus 19. The previous value of A is what? 19. 19 plus 2 will be giving you 21. Then C value will be 3. 3 less than equal to 5. Condition is true. 21 plus 3 will be giving you what? 21 plus 3 will be giving you 24. Then we have 24 plus 4. 28. Then we have equal to 28 plus 5. That is 33. And after this, condition will become false, like c is no longer lesser than equal to 5. And at the last we are simply returning a plus b. A value is what? 33. And b value is what? Did we made any change in b value? No. So b value is as it is, that is 8. So 33 plus 8, 41 will be the correct answer for this particular question. Hope that is clear. So you can see the questions aren't tough. They are just depending on this bitwise operator. So if the concepts regarding bitwise operator is not clear, you won't be able to solve them. तो इजी से ही है, एक बार go through कर लो all the bitwise operators and this thing that I mentioned to eliminate the redundant statement. तो ये आपको properly question observe करना पड़ेगा, then only you will figure out that which statements are you can say extra or so that should be removed. Okay, here's our next question. So this is our function fa to which we are passing two arguments. So a value is 2, b value is 2. Now here we are checking if a is less than 3 or b less than 3 or a plus b greater than 8. So you can see a is also less than 3, b is also less than 3. This is what? Logical OR. So in logical OR, if any of the scenario is true, the whole expression will be true. So we'll be moving in this if part. Return a plus 1 means 3 plus, we are again calling the same function fa. Again calling the same function fa to which we are passing a plus 1, that is 3, b plus 1, that is 3, plus b plus 1. B plus 1 will be giving you what? 3. So or I can write it like this, 3 plus 3 6, fa 3 comma 3. So now we have to find the answer for this one. So again a call will be made to this particular function where a value is 3, b value is 3. So here you can see this condition won't be true now. This if condition won't be true because a is not less than 3, b is not less than 3. If it is for equal to, then this scenario should be satisfied. Also a plus b, that is will be 6. 6 is not greater than that of it. So in that case they are simply returning a. So from this particular, for this particular call, we will be getting output as a. A value is what? 3 itself. So 6 plus 3 that we do have. So 6 plus 3 will be giving us what? 9 is the answer. So 9 will be the answer for this particular question. Again, that is also easy one, sort of based on like recursion was there. So hope that is clear. Okay, so here's our next question. Again, we have a function to which we are passing two integer arguments, a as well as b. A value is 2, b value is 9. Sorry, b value is 9. Now we are simply checking if a is less than 9 or b is greater than 5. Any of the scenarios satisfy if condition will be true. You know that because here we are using logical OR. So a is what? 2. 2 is lesser than that of 9. Condition is true. Let's proceed further. So return a plus, what is the value of a? 2 plus, call this same function fa, to which now we are changing to b we are passing to a and a we are passing to b. So b value is what? B value is 9 and E value is what? 2. So this is the call that we are making now. So A is now 9 and B is now 2. So again we'll be checking if A lesser than that of 9. No, 9 is not lesser than that of 9. And for B, we are going to check. For B, what do we have? For B, we have 2. So 2 greater than that of 5. So you can see 2 is greater than that of 5. No. So both the conditions are false this time. Both the conditions are false. So this if part won't be executed. So for this particular call, they are returning, then this particular statement will be executed. Return A plus 3. So what is the value of A? 2. Right? Okay. Sorry, this time it is 9 now. We passed 9. Okay, we passed 9. So 9 plus 3. So 12. So this is going to give you what? 12. 9 plus 3, 12. So 12 plus 2, you will be getting 14. So 14 will be the answer for this particular question. Hope that is clear. So let's move to our next question. Now, you can see we are solving the question and the difficulty level is fairly easy. Okay, so this is how the questions are getting asked. It's not, I didn't find any such very complex question. They were based on simple recursion questions were there. Let me write. Simple recursion question were there. Some bitwise based questions were there. Bitwise based looping based questions were there. So questions were fairly easy. Instead, what I found, like in data structure thing, you need a lots of like conceptual knowledge. Even I have made a video regarding data structure questions as well that were asked. So I have provided the link in the I button, so you can just check it from there even. Right, so data structure, I found that yeah, it was good. But for pseudocode, they do follow this pattern only, or this time also they have followed the same kind of question. Right. So let's see our next question now. So here's our next question. A equal to 0, we have 3 variables A, B and K. B equal to 4 and K equal to 5. Now we are taking a for loop for each K. Okay, so here let me take a value. Here I forgot to mention. Okay, let's take a random value. Okay, because my main objective is just to let you know the question. So here it should be for each K 3 to 5. I forgot to mention, I don't know how I forgot to mention the value here, the initial one. So it should be like for each K from 3 to 5. 3 to 5, this is the initial and this is the ending one. So the loop will be something like K equal to 3 less than equal to 5. Okay, now in this loop what we are doing is B equal to A plus K. So first of all, we are updating the value of B as A plus K. So A value is what? 0. K value is what? 5. So B value will be 5. Now we are checking that if B bitwise AND. So here they have used the concept of bitwise AND. For bitwise AND also, let me tell you, bitwise AND, the answer will be like if you are doing, if both the operands are 1, then only the output will be 1, otherwise it will be 0. Okay, so B value what we have is 5. B value we have 5. So 1 0 1, and bitwise AND with 7 we are doing. So 1 1 1. So here 1 0, you get 5 itself. So 5 is lesser than that of 5? No, right? So 5 is not lesser than that of 5. So we have to continue. Okay, so do one thing. Let me know the answer of this particular pseudocode in the comment section. Like it will help you in practicing. For sure, I just took a random value. Okay, because main objective is not just to solve the questions all. It is just to let you know about the kind of question that is getting asked in the exam. So do let me know the answer for this particular pseudocode in the comment section. And we'll be proceeding to the next one. So let me quickly tell you the next one. Right, so here we are having 3 integer values P, Q, D. P value is 8, Q value is 4 and D value is 9. Fine, so we are updating the value of D as Q plus D. So Q value is 4, D value is 9. 9 plus 4 will be giving you 13. Then we are updating the value of P as. Now here, just have a look. Is this a redundant statement? No, because on the next line we are updating the value of P and we are using the previous value of P. It means here. So you have to calculate this as well. P equal to 1 bitwise AND with 8. So 8, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and 1. So this is how we do write 1. Here you will see you will get 0 only. So we are doing 0 plus D. D value is what? D value is 13. So P value will be 13 itself. Again we are doing this operation. So P equal to T XOR with P. Let me tell you, if you are having a if you are doing the XOR of two things, like we're doing P XOR with P. If you are having a number and you're doing this XOR with X, you will get 0 as the output. If you don't trust, then let's do this. P value is what? 13. 13 we can write as 8 plus 4 plus 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2. Okay. So this is how do we write 13. See, what I do is when you have to do the conversion, just take the power. यहाँ पे आप लोगे तो 2 पे power 0 you'll be getting 2 पे power 2 we need for 4, right? So 2 पे power 2 from here you will be getting, and from here you will be getting what? 2 पे power 3. Okay, so this is what is going to make 13. 11 0 1. Do the XOR operation. They are same 0 0 0 0. I told you about XOR operator, right? If the operands are similar, you will be getting the output as 0 itself. So that's why remember this, that if you are having a number and you are doing the XOR with itself, so you will be getting output as 0 itself. So P XOR with P will be giving you 0 plus P. It means the previous value only. So P value will remain as it is, that is 13. Now we are simply returning P plus Q plus D. So P value is what? Now 13. Q value is 4 itself. And D value, this one that we updated now. So D value is also 13, right? Because we did what we did initially, Q plus D. So Q value was 9, 9 plus 4, 13. So 13 plus 13, 26 plus 4, 30. So that will be the answer. Okay. So yeah, these were some of the questions to give you a proper insight regarding what kind of questions are getting asked, what is the difficulty level, the topic on which they are focusing on. So if your bitwise operand part is clear, if your recursion part is clear, loops, etc., you are completely aware of, you will be able to solve the questions. Questions are fairly easy. Just make sure to eliminate those redundant statements as well, because they are sort of going to consume your time. So make a note of that, and that's it. You are good to go for the exam. And those who are having the exam in upcoming days, all the best, guys. I hope that the video has helped you. If it is so, make sure to hit the like button. Do subscribe our channel. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Bye bye.